All right. So I am going to turn myself into federal prison November 17th before 2 p.m. I'm probably going to leave out around like 5 in the morning so I can get there wherever I'm going, however long it takes to get there. If you're wondering why I am going to federal prison, I'm actually going to show you guys the article. So basically, if you want to stop, pause, and read, you can. I'm going to jail for 3 years for straw purchasing. Let me get out the way so you guys can read it if you guys want to read it. But basically, going to jail for straw purchasing. I took it to trial. I've lost trial. I testified. The judge kept telling me I was lying. And basically, I have to turn myself in November 17th. And that's 3 years, 36 months. So if you guys want a backstory of trial of everything, let me know.
Hey cousins, welcome back to my channel. Make sure you like and comment. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Cousins, today we have a story on this young lady named Quinnea Gross. Quinnea, a few years ago, she was in love with a man and decided to do a crime for him. And she, unfortunately, went on with her life, not realizing that this crime is going to catch up with her someday. The crime has caught up to her. Quinnea had a baby. And we're just going to go through her story. Make sure you guys unpack your thoughts in the comments. Let me know how you guys feel about this story. Would you do a crime for a man? I hold a brick for you, daddy. Like, would you would you hold it down? Would you hide the body? Like, are you a ride or die? Baby, I am not riding. I am not dying. Sorry. Unpack your thoughts in the comments. Let me know how you guys feel about this whole situation. And we're going to get into it. All right? Bye.
I'm not about to get into my case or anything because it's just crazy how everything happened. But basically, I just want you guys to know if that man really loved you, how he tells you he loves you, he probably show you he loves you. That man would never put you in a position for you to be hurt, for you to be in trouble, for anything that will harm you, he will not do because he loves, respects, and cherishes you. These men that we be, ooh, pimple. Hold on. These men that we be cherishing, these hood men that you guys love so much, be thinking like, I'm gonna ride for him, I'm gonna hold him down. Whole time he got 5 other bitches that you know about. A man and an obsessed mother. Like, be fucking for real for a second. Then he doesn't have a job. He doesn't have a car. He doesn't have a bum. Oh, he doesn't have a bum. He is a bum. But he doesn't have a house. And y'all be loving it up. I remember when I started dealing with the guy that I was dealing with, rest his soul, but he ended up telling on me. Well, he was a part of my investigation, a part of my case. He ended up, it's the reason why I got a target letter and I was indicted and I had a superseding indictment because of him. And I already knew my co-defendant was going to testify against me. So he was in witness protection because he was still out in the streets, but he's not anymore because he got. Once again, rest his soul. But it's just crazy the things we will do to feel loved, to feel valued, to feel appreciated by this one person who does not take any of that into consideration. But what we have to do as women is hold ourselves accountable and understand that man is not going to change for you. You are not going to change that man. He does not love no one but himself. The only person, okay, that is going to sit down and do that time when you get caught for conspiracy is you. We out here thinking these drug dealers is where it's at. Get you a 9 to 5, baby. At least you know he's coming home. Like, it's just, and I feel like when I met this man, I spent 6 years of my life with him. I didn't leave him. My man. He was just putting his hands on me, embarrassing me, belittling me. And now look, I got a fucking federal charge because of it. It's not worth it. It's my choices. I made these choices. I decided to do what I did, but I was doing it because I was trying to show him that I loved him. I was loyal. I was there. I was rocking. I wasn't giving up. Baby, love yourself and put yourself first because it's not worth it. It's not worth it. And if I can talk to my fucking 18-year-old, 19-year-old, 20, 21-year-old self, I will punch the shit out of me because, bitch, what are you doing looking for love in the wrong places? I wanted that excitement, though. I was so bored with my life. I was a college student. My grades dropped. I dropped out. I'm like, I need some excitement. Now I'm 27 years old paying for that excitement. Don't be like me. Be better than me. Be better than me because the only person who's about to suffer right now is my daughter. And it fucking hurts. So the judge wasn't like, when the trial was going on, he didn't tell me I was lying. He basically, the first time I met the judge, he basically told me if I'm found guilty, he's gonna lock me up right on the spot, which scared the fuck out of me because, like, I've never been in trouble a day before in my life. So then once the trial came, I did not take a plea. I took them to trial and I testified on my own behalf, which was bad. He said I should have never testified. I probably wouldn't be going to jail right now if I didn't testify, but it already happened and we're moving past it. So it comes to the day for my sentencing, and he just kept like reiterating that I lied. I falsely testified because I was convicted of the crime by 12 jurors who made me guilty. So that they did not believe my testimony when I was on stand. So that made me the liar. They believed my co-defendant, who was actually the liar, which is crazy. Like, he made up it was just crazy. Like, but he basically said I was a liar and I'm sentenced to 3 years and 2 years probation and have to pay $400. So the plea was basically 6 months house arrest and 2 years probation. But they was trying to tell me like I gave guns to my uncles, which I didn't. So I wasn't able to take the plea because if I did take the plea, that was me admitting to what this guy was saying was true. The only reason I took it to trial is because they had the wrong guys. They kept saying it was my uncles and it wasn't my uncles, and I couldn't allow my uncles to go to jail for something that I knew they did not do. So yeah. Don't mind my hair because I'm deep conditioning. So if you got a problem with it, you're anti-black. Oh wow, story time, please. Did you not purchase the weapons or was there more to the story? What was your testimony and why do you think it was so bad? So basically, my testimony was basically me just saying that the cops were lying, that the guy who testified against me, he was lying because they actually were. So the guy who testified against me, we're just gonna call him Guy because I don't really want to get in trouble. Listen, okay? The guy who testified against me kept saying that one of my uncles would call me to come pick him up and then they'd give me the money and take me to the store. I'd take him to the store and then he'll come and tell me what firearms there was and then he'll give me the firearms and he didn't know what happened to the firearms after he gave them to me, but he just thought I gave them to my uncles. He kept saying how he owed a drug debt to one of my uncles or both of my uncles, and then he got on the stand and said he did not owe a drug debt to my other uncle, but he owed a drug debt to my other uncle. And I'm like, what drug dealer is going to allow a drug addict to make a debt that big that you'd have to go purchase firearms? Because a firearm is expensive. Make it make sense. And if you're saying he was purchasing 2 to 3 firearms at a time, why would you think a drug dealer would go that far into debt with a drug addict? So that was just completely wrong. I don't even know where he got that side of the story from. I don't even know where he got his story from because it was all wrong. Basically, what did happen, and I can say this now because I'm being convicted. I was already convicted for the crime. I'm about to self-surrender. I'm about to turn myself in, and I'm going to do my time for the part that I played in this transaction. They're also saying that I gave them a voluntary statement because I had a lawyer with me. My lawyer never told me my rights. They never told me my rights. They never told me I could leave. I didn't know I could leave. I didn't know I didn't have to go down there. I paid a lawyer like $1,000. I still have the receipt for the lawyer. And he only wrote off for $800, but I paid him like $1,000 for him to come sit with me for questioning. He never told me I didn't have to go. He could have told me I didn't have to go. All this would have been avoided. But my testimony was basically saying how this man was lying because he was lying through his teeth. Like, my uncles never called me. The way me and him got in contact was through Facebook. Okay, I bought a firearm off of him. I did. So that's illegal to do. So I would have to serve time anyway because I bought a firearm off of him illegally. But it was only one firearm. The thing is, I know the people who actually did do what he was saying did happen, but I never told on anyone. I kept my mouth shut, which I shouldn't have done. And they're saying they have a voluntary statement. Nothing's signed, nothing's written, nothing's recorded. But since there was attorneys in there, not attorneys, the FBI was in there. So they basically testified to what they heard. So it's not hearsay. I don't know how that works. But even they were lying, making up. It was just like so much lying. I feel like the only person who told the truth on the stand was me. And they kept saying, oh, you didn't report your firearm stolen. I 100% swear to God, I reported my firearm stolen, but nobody wrote down the report. I even called the detective to let the detective know I'm here at the police station to report my firearm stolen. They're telling me they don't know what's going on. They don't know what I'm talking about. What do I do next? They never called me back. They never got back to me. So I was just thinking, all right, it's over with. Little did I know I'd be going to jail for conspiracy to commit false or fictitious statements for a firearm, aiding and abetting, and straw purchasing. And then they, on my paperwork, they got me for gun trafficking. What the fuck? But once again, I accept my punishment and I am gonna do my time. I'm just everything that happened, it happened. The trial was a week long, but the investigation was 3 years. I got indicted in 2020. This crime happened in 2017, 2018. I'm 27. This shit happened when I was 21. And they kept trying to say I did it for my uncles. I never gave firearms to my uncles, which I kept telling them, but they did not believe me. Even if I would have told them who the people were that was involved in this situation, even though I wouldn't. But if I was, they would have thought I was lying just to protect my uncles. So regardless of what, I still would be going to jail. I will give you guys a full story once I come home because I don't want to like get more charges. I don't really know how it works. I'm like really terrified to say the wrong thing, and then like I don't know how any of this works. I don't want to go to jail for a longer period because I was looking at 6 to 8 years, and the judge gave me half of the minimum. So I am thankful for that. And I told him thank you for that. I was terrified he was going to give me that 6 years. When I tell you, and then he gave me 36 months to run concurrently because I was charged with 4 counts. I was so thankful for that judge because if I would have had 3 years for each count, I'd be doing 12 years. And if I would have got the 6 years for each count, I'd have been doing like 24 years. So I'm not going to give you a full story just yet, but when I get home, tune the fuck in if I still have this account in 3 years. But once again, thank you so much, Judge Mannion. I definitely appreciate you because a bitch was scared. Damn, right before Thanksgiving, I would cry. Funny thing is, I did cry before I got sentenced because I was thinking I was getting 6 years, but the judge gave me half of the minimum, which was 3 years. So I was really thankful. And there'd be no point for me to cry because I'm going to jail for something that I did. I knew what I was doing was breaking the law. I knew this day was going to come. And for every action, there is a reaction. So this is my reaction to my actions. You know what I mean? So there's no point in me crying now. And I was a big bitch when I did it. I'm going to be a big bitch in jail. I'm going to prison, not jail. And it's not funny, but this is my coping mechanism. I laugh about shit that's not funny. But I'm probably going to cry when I get in there. But I'm not going to cry. I probably won't. I don't know. God only knows. I don't even know what's in store for me. It's my first time ever in trouble. But I'm not going to cry. I'm going to miss my baby, though. May I ask, why did you take it to trial? No one never wins with the feds. You should have took the plea deal. So the plea deal was basically me agreeing, like, I'm guilty to what this guy who testified against me said. Basically, what the article said, me buying firearms for drug traffickers or whatever. I never bought firearms for drug traffickers. I bought firearms for myself. But I couldn't take the plea deal because if I would have took the plea deal, then my uncles would go to jail for something that I know for a fact they didn't do. You know what I mean? So it's like, why would I save my own ass and throw my uncles under the bus when they have nothing to do with this case at all? But the feds wasn't trying to hear that they had nothing to do with this case because they believed what this guy, the drug addict, was saying. Even though if you listen to his interrogation, because I watched the tape, he was basically telling them, I'll tell you anything. They tried to rape me. I was terrified. And then he testified the complete opposite. So I couldn't. Was someone killed with the firearms that you purchased? No, not that I know about. Not that my lawyer knows about. Nothing was mentioned during trial about that. I have no idea, but I will pray not. Like, no, I do not know. I hope not. Don't mind my hair because if you do, guess what? You're anti-black. So the backstory for trial would have to be basically I got a target letter coincidentally right after my ex-boyfriend who I did this crime with, right after he was arrested in Philadelphia for the drug case. If you read it in the article, it said how they found 2 of my handguns in Philadelphia for a drug trafficking case. My ex-boyfriend was a drug dealer. Loved his life. My man. My face is ashy. Basically, he had 2 of my firearms when when his house was raided because he was set up by someone else who I don't know. It's like a rippling effect, but I got a target letter back in, I would say 2020, 2021, basically saying I'm under investigation. FBI is watching me. These are the products I'm going to be using. Yeah, get into it. Wait. There we go. Okay. And I'm doing flat twists. So basically, he was caught with a lot of drugs, a lot of handguns, and a lot of money. He had like $60,000 that he was caught with, and he ended up not doing any time for that. Red flag number 1, right? So he ends up getting bailed out. I put like $1,000 to him getting bailed out and like $1,000 to his lawyer. Because once again, my man. And then later find out, like he comes out of jail or whatever. Then he comes down to where I live. And me and him were rocking together. He kept asking me to get him pew pews. And this is after I got the indictment. After I got the target letter. He kept asking me to get him these pew pews. And of course I'm like, no, like why would I go out and basically do this when I know for a fact you were caught with 2 of my firearms. You feel me? So obviously you asking me to go get you some firearms, you trying to get me in trouble. That's how I seen it. So I initially fell back from him. I wasn't really fucking with him because I'm like, obviously the only reason I got my target letter was because of him. And mind you, at the time I was 21, he was probably like 30. No, he wasn't 30. He was 26, 28, 27, around that area. So time passes or whatever, and now he's up here living wherever he was living, and he ends up getting caught again. And this time he got caught with crack cocaine. I don't know if I can say that. I might get what's it called, but he got caught with crack cocaine and cell phones and money and scales and all this other stuff. So this time he actually ends up doing a year in jail, but out here. So after this time he got caught, I knew something was fishy because he got caught and he only did a year. Mind you, he's out on bail for a whole different charge. This is for the stuff that happened in Philadelphia. He did no time for. So he gets out, and he's out after a year, and he keeps hitting me up and, oh, babe, what's going on? Why are you ignoring me? Blah, blah, blah. Me being young, dumb, and naive, I go back to him to try like, oh, no, he's not telling on me. Y'all, this man was telling on me. And you know when something's happening and you don't want to believe it, so you keep telling yourself like, oh, no, it's not happening. Girl, it was happening. But basically, he came home this time, and he was out for a little bit, but then my investigation was over. Then I was indicted. When he got out, I got my indictment letter, and I'm like, damn, I got indicted? I knew for a fact that my co-defendant, he was going to tell on me. I knew that, but to find out that the one who was in witness protection that was telling on me was supposed to be the same guy that was supposed to be rocking for me, that, I ain't gonna lie, that really hurt. That did. But that's how you know these men ain't loyal, and they're not as thorough as females, because how, sir? How? So for the straw purchasing, he didn't get any time. The firearms were all found at his house. Or, well, they said there was 4 found at his house. I don't know how many was found at his house. I didn't find out this until after he had died. They, like, told me his name and how they found guns at his house. And I was like, what the fuck? So he didn't even get time, which was crazy. The only 2 people who got time was me and my co-defendant, the 2 people who purchased the firearms. And he wasn't able, like, he was caught with $60,000, hella drugs, weed, and all this other stuff, and the guns, and he didn't do any time for that at all. Then he came out to where I live, and then he got caught with cell phones, crack, and money. It's the second time, and he only did a year for that. And that didn't get picked up by the feds, but this one did. I was like, what the fuck? How you didn't do time and I'm getting in trouble because of you? Men want to ride or die, but they don't want to do the same. There was no reason to tell them you bought the gun. He was already going to do that time. Crazy part is he wasn't doing no time. He did not get no time for the guns that was found at his house, for the drugs, for the money. He got probation. If that, well, to my acknowledgement, he got probation. This is what my lawyer told me. They knew I bought the guns because the guns traced back to me. And then the guy that, my co-defendant told them that I bought those guns, and he testified against me. But he did not get any time. He did not get any time. They told me, like, the last day of my trial, like when he died, it was like he was in some type of protection. They had to protect his name because he was still out in the streets. And I was like, what the fuck? He was telling on me? What the fuck? I thought you were supposed to have reported them stolen so they can't trace back to you. Crazy. True story. I went down to the police station to report my gun stolen. And I actually testified this, but they already told me I was lying, so I was like, fuck it. I went down to the police station because one of the detectives gave me his card. I don't remember because this was like fucking 5 years ago. But I went down to the police station with my mom, and I went inside, and I went there to report my gun stolen. There was a police officer. I don't know if he was a new police officer. I don't even remember his name. I gave him the guy's card, the detective's card, and I was like, I'm down here to report my gun stolen. And the dude basically like blew me off, like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. There was no break-in, there was no this, there was no that. You can't report them stolen, basically. And then I called the detective to let the detective know I couldn't report my gun stolen. And then a couple years later, I get a Target letter. I was like, well, damn. How did he die? Were y'all together when he passed? I'm sorry you have to go through this. What I was told was that he died. Someone shot him 7 times when he was coming out his house. Like, someone knocked on the door. This is what I was told. I don't know because I don't live where he lives. And like the day I got the phone call, I was like, oh my gosh. But no, we weren't together. But it was crazy. Our relationship was crazy. Like, we were not together since my indictment started in 2020. We weren't together, but like that was still my man and I was still his girl. Like, we both have different relationships. I'm with my baby father. He was with whoever he was with, but we're always call each other. We would always come see each other. We were together, but we weren't together. But yeah, he got shot 7 times, and then they left money on his body. Disrespected him. Yeah, we're gonna throw some on your books. Y'all can actually start sending some funds to my account now. You feel me? Hold on, let me show you the number. 93479-509 is my inmate number. And this is where I will be FBC Alderson and what. Don't mind it being so dark and put my baby to sleep. She's a booby baby. Is there any proof he died? Well, I'm so sorry you're going through this, mamas. I appreciate it, but this is what I found. A pile of money and a cell phone on the ground marked the spot near where a man was gunned down. I can't really see what it says because it's just a sticker, but Philadelphia, Wednesday night. Police officers respond to Willen Avenue near South 67th Street just after 8 p.m. to find a man with several gunshot wounds to his body. Philadelphia police said officers rushed them to the hospital. It was Quinnea, 31 years old, who lived on Willen Avenue. This is the only thing I got. He had a closed casket funeral. I didn't make it to the funeral. I didn't really, so I don't know if he's dead or if he's not. I didn't believe it once they said that he was, because he told me that Sunday before he died that he felt like he was about to die, and next thing you know, he's dead. I don't want to believe. So it makes me wonder, who else did he tell on to get off of so many other charges? This may have been retaliation. So basically, I went to Google to see if the thing that happened in Philly comes up, like how it came up in my paperwork, how he was a drug trafficker in Philly and the house was raided by the cops or whatever. I googled his name and it doesn't come up. The only thing that comes up is what happened in Wilkes-Barre, which is this. A Philadelphia man was busted Monday after a third. He allegedly found a large amount of illegal narcotics on Monday. Hakeem Quinnea, 29, was arrested after he allegedly sold crack cocaine to an agent with the Township Police Department Special Investigation Unit in the area of Highland Park Boulevard and wherever. Quinnea was arrested during this joint operation, but he wasn't arrested for the shit that happened in Philly. It doesn't even come up for what happened in Philly. Y'all Google his name and see if you find it, because I don't see it. Yeah, please take this as a lesson and stop struggle love and writing for these men who would never do the same for you. Well, obviously, bitch! I don't like that. Like, duh, girl. I see now. I was 21 when this happened. I'm now 27. Like, don't. That's what she tries. Like, don't do too much. The struggle love. Like, girl, you struggle love too. We all been young and dumb once upon a time. How did your uncles even get involved in this in the first place? How did they become part of the case based off of one person's testimony? Honestly and truly, I don't know, because when I was questioned, they kept saying I bought firearms for my uncles, and I kept telling them no, I didn't. Even when I went through my case, even after the case, I kept telling them no, I didn't, because I never did. But the guy said that he owed a drug debt to one of my uncles and the other uncle or whatever. Then it came out that he only owed a drug debt to one of my uncles. The other uncle never sold him drugs. It was a bunch of bullshit. But once the feds heard that story, they ran with it. So they were definitely trying to get my uncles. So, yeah. And then when I was sentenced, the judge said that I need to go to get a psychiatric evaluation so I won't be manipulated by family members to do bad things. And I'm just like, my uncles really had nothing to do with this case. So I don't understand why you guys y'all so adamant about my uncles and they're not even involved in this situation. She said, please post if you got a picture. We the people need to see the stud. Give me a second. This was us on New Year's. My man. Like I said, I'd probably dead myself, not gonna lie. I've been through a lot already in life. I feel like I couldn't handle something like prison. You don't kill yourself because you gotta go to jail. Listen, growing up with my father was prison. It was hell. It was torture. They used to lock me in a fucking room for hours, for weeks, for days, with nothing but a fucking, what is it called? A pot to piss in? Literally. At least I'm gonna have a fucking celly, and I might get some food. Kill myself because I'm going to prison. I go crazy. I couldn't be like that. My parents raised a strong individual. Like, this is just one obstacle of many. The fuck would you... Girl, my life been hard as fuck, but my life is never going to be this hard. It's never given... Myself, it's never given this hard for me. That's just me personally. But good thing I'm not you. And you not me. Why did you do it? I'm glad you're free and everything. Did you think you were in love? Or what was the reason? If I may ask. I don't know if you were talking to me or if you're talking to the girl that commented this, but the reason I did it was because he was telling me that like people were trying to kill him out in the streets, and I was like, not my man, my man, my man. And then he had that Captain Hook, and that's the only person who ever made me skirt. So I was definitely young, dumb, and in love. That was my man, my man, my man. I was so super for him. My family will tell you I was just the dumbest bitch when it came to him. Like, I was just, if I tell you guys the stories of our relationship, you'd have been like, bitch, why? I was just young and I was looking for love in the wrong places. And I thought, like, if I would show him, like, I'm here for you through everything, that we were going to get married, have kids. But then once he went to jail and I realized he was telling on me, I left his ass the fuck alone. I was like, oh, bitch, you was being stupid. Now I'm paying for the shit that happened when I was 21. I'm 27 with a kid now. Why didn't you snitch if you did? Because even if I was to tell them I got him the firearms, they were trying to go after my uncles. So I could have told them I got them him the firearms. They would have still thought I was lying, trying to protect my uncles. Because she's protecting them and she's going to jail for 3 years with a baby. That's why. I'm not protecting my uncles. My uncles legit have nothing to do with my case. The dude that testified against me, my co-defendant, tried to say that my uncle said they was going to rape him. He was scared for his life. They threatened him. Then he testified the complete opposite, saying basically that he was a willing and able participant. He was making up shit because he had a homicide by delivery and he was trying to get his ass off. He was trying to save himself. She can't eat that, Mom.
I guess that one.
Oh, she ate it?
Yeah, she ate it.
My uncles were innocent people that got brought into this because of the guy. He tried to make up mad stories to make it seem like, you know, he wasn't the one who did it. That man did it for money. He got paid to do what he did. What he did with that money is not my business. I don't know. What I did with the guns, I gave them to my ex-boyfriend. Not my uncles. So you go out with your dad in jail. Now you're going to do the same thing to your kid. I don't know how someone could willingly risk losing their kids. Kid. Not kids. Kid. One. Not plural. And who the fuck said I grew up with my dad in jail? You don't do the whole 3. You got this. Did you have an attorney? Yes, I paid $15,000 for an attorney, and he made me testify. And the day of, he didn't even prep me to testify. Like the day of, he's like, you need to go on stand because you're losing. You're doing, it's looking bad for you. And you know me, young, dumb, and fucking listening to everybody. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go on stand. And then he's telling me if you perjurize yourself, you're gonna get an enhancement of 3, this, and this. He didn't prep me to go on stand. He just threw me up there. And the judge told me when I was getting sentenced, he was basically like, you should have never testified. And I was like, well, damn. I looked at my lawyer like, you set me up, you fat motherfucker. He has it all the way up. George is short. He has it all the way up. Good morning. No, I did not do my hair. I decided to wear stripes since I'm going to prison today. There's no Booby here. Booby's at home with my sister. So it's just me and my family on a way for me to self-surrender for 3 years for straw purchasing firearms. So I'm on my way to turn myself in. So come with me. The countdown's over to turn myself into prison, federal prison, for the next 3 years, you guys. I feel like this day came so effing fast, bro. It's ridiculous. And look at me now. I look rough. I did not look this bad when I left out the house, but I've been sleeping and I wasn't crying. Not too much on me. But don't be like me, y'all. Be better than me. Please be better than me, because look at me now. Going to prison. Because I was a young, dumb bitch. Thank you guys so much for the 50K before I turn myself in. Y'all fuck with me, Bookie. Y'all fucks with me. I farted and it smells so bad in here.